everybody. So let's see here. Hi, Renee. Let's see. Why isn't my camera? Well, I guess it is. Okay. Hi, Tammy. So I do have my phone set up to watch the chat, and I have my iPad set up here. Hopefully that helps with the problem of the audio going in and out like I've had. I was filming on my phone, so while I wait on a few people to come in, I'm going to actually open up this kit and get it all set up. We are, as you saw in the title card, making our own watercolors today. So let me get all of this set up. How is everybody doing? Hello, Dorothy. How are you doing? I'm really excited about this one, you guys. I am doing great. I think that I think that I am just mostly excited to do this because it's different. Not a lot of artists are doing this on YouTube, and I don't know why. It took a lot of research on my part to get all of this, all of the supplies and everything. Well, I'll give you guys a little bit of an explanation. Give you guys a little bit of an explanation as to what the heebie-jeebies I've got up my sleeve and why. Let's see. Try to make sure that you guys are in frame. I think I'm going to pull my camera back a little bit. Okay, guys, so the other day, there we go. We'll see if that helps. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. The other day, I was craving a little normalcy in my life, and I decided to go to Tuesday morning. Well, what did I find at Tuesday morning but this kit that I just opened? It is a kit by Paper Fashion, and it is a powdered pigment watercolor making set. And I will be 100% honest with you, the reason why the pigments look a little low is because I did go ahead and make the pigment, make the watercolors, all of the original colors that already were in the pigments. I made an orange, a yellow, a red, indigo, sky blue, and a lavender color, which are the colored pigments that came with the kit. Now I'm going to make the secondary colors that I want to make out of these pigments. I'm just going to mix two colors in order to get a new color, and I'm going to put them in the next 6 little wells, but it's all going to be the same kit. This is an awesome airtight palette that I found on Amazon. It has a removable palette, but because it's airtight, you can actually put either your tube watercolors or your homemade watercolors in here and let them dry, and they will be good for you to use for a while. Now, the reason why I went ahead and made these colors is because I want to test the re-wet ability of this pigment and of this kit. If you go to Paper Fashion, the kit itself retailed at $60. I got it for $27.99 at Tuesday Morning. But I think at this very moment, if you want to get this kit, I think everything is 50% off of that website. So you could actually, you know, make your own watercolors and make your own set. Now, I will tell you that you do pay for the activity. This isn't the most amazing watercolor that I've played around with, you know? So a lot of the times you do have to keep in mind that you pay for the activity itself. So I have my tester sheet of watercolor here. I have my paper towels ready to go. Let's go through some of the materials that come in the kit. And let's see. This is Arabic gum, or I assume it's Arabic gum. The thing is it just says watercolor binder on there. So I don't really know what is in the mix of this. And through my research, I want to say it's Arabic gum and honey and maybe a little clove oil. But like I said, I bought this kit because I was interested in making my own watercolor paints. And this seemed like the first logical step. For $30, I could test it out and see if I liked doing the activity itself. So this is Arabic gum. This is the oil binder that binds the pigments together in order to create your watercolor paint. So there's your Arabic gum. You have 6 pigments. And while I name off these pigments, I'm going to write them down because I will be swatching the re-wet original pigments here. And then I will have to test as I make the secondary pigments. So we've got, let's start with this yellow color. It's called Summer Yellow. We've got Golden Sky, which is this pretty orange color. We have Red Kiss. We have Indigo Earth. We have Sea, as in the ocean, K-I-S-S, Sea Kiss. And last but not least, we have Lavender Sky. All right, so we have all of those re-wet or written down. There's that. There's that. Like I said, this is going to be my tester. And this thing, to me, it looks like a glass cheesy piece. This is called a molar. And what happens is you take your palette knife and you take this slab of glass and you take your pigment, whatever you want to do here, and you dump out some of the pigment on the glass. You put a few drops of the oils in there, mix it thoroughly with your palette knife, and then you have to grind this pigment into the oils. And as you do, the pigment kind of becomes one with the oil, I guess. You might have to add more oil depending on the grittiness of the pigment, but you scrape it all together, put it back in here, and you have a watercolor paint. And that's pretty much it. I think it's a very interesting process to do this because this is how they made paint back in the day. They didn't get to go to Michael's or art stores and buy their paint ready-made. They had to make their own, essentially. So let's get started on the activity, and we will go from there. So my first color combo that I really want to make is I want to take this orange and this red, and I want to mix the two together and see what comes out of it. Now, a lot of people would say, why not just re-wet the colors that you've already made and mix them on the palette and you'll have that color? Well, yeah, you could, but why not, if you're already making it, why not customize your palette to already have the colors so you don't mix so much? I mean, it's a given that you're going to mix colors. I mean, duh, it's watercolor. But let's have a little fun and mix the color and have it already ready-made. So I put out a little bit of that orange. Also, I do want to let you all know that whenever you're handling pigments like this, you might want to, I'm going to put a little more orange than I am red, because I really want that orange to come out. Whenever you mix and play with powdered pigments, it is suggested that you wear a respirating mask and that you wear gloves. So there's a line of the red, and I'm going to reach over here and grab me a pair of gloves so that I can start mixing. Alright, here we go. I grabbed 3 instead of 2. Didn't mean to do that. Ta-da! Okay. So my ratio to this pigment from the oil I have found is about the size of the cap. So I'll pour a puddle out around the size of the cap, give or take, and then we will mix from there and see if we need more. So I'm going to move that molar out of the way, kind of tilt this glass, and start mixing very slowly in with my palette knife. Now, if you, when you're doing this, if you happen to see that the powder doesn't really mix with the oil right away, that's fine. Just keep going with your palette knife and see how far you can get it. The pigment all pigments are different weights, and they are definitely something that you need to work with. I mean, my idea on this is if this turns out as good as I hope it does, I really want to buy all natural ingredients and do this for real, as in making my own binder and buying pigments that come from the earth, and doing actual, like, real homemade watercolors, because I am very fascinated by this. The whole process is just amazing to me. And I don't want to say it seems easy, but it seems really fun. And with this kit, the only thing that makes me a little sad is there are no light colors. Like, I mean, the sky blue is kind of light, and you'll see when I swatch it, it does come out on the lighter side, but there are, like, not really, there's not like light pink or light green. There is no green. But I could understand why. You have the primaries, so you could essentially make secondary, which one of the colors that I do want to make during this live is a green, but I just really wanted to make this burnt orange first. So how is everybody? Tell me what you guys are up to. Tell me what the world is like right now, and also how you guys are doing, feeling, if everybody's being safe. I'm really loving this color. So if you notice that I'm taking the time to really make sure that this all the color is incorporated into this oil. So I did oh good. I would love to be able to go to Paris. I mean, you know, some of the photos from all of this is kind of, I don't want to say sad, but beautiful at the same time. Like there was this one photo of the Eiffel Tower where it was just completely deserted and empty, and it had like this eerie sense of beauty. I mean, you could appreciate the architecture, I guess you would say, and I just found it just absolutely awesome. Okay, so I scraped that. Move these pigments out of the way so I don't bump them around and everything. Alright, so I think this is completely mixed the way I like it. So tell me, has anybody ever tried to make their own paints before? Or at least tried to make their own arts and craft supplies? Has anybody attempted this at all? So I am going to place the molar on my paint, and I'm going to start running this in circles. And really, I'm not really putting a whole lot of pressure on this paint, but I am moving it around. And what happens is the molar creates almost like a seal on the glass, and you can really work that pigment in. I agree. I love people, I'm a people person, but sometimes it's really nice to do things without a whole crowd, or, you know, like the traffic has been amazing around here with without as many people on the road. This is my favorite part. I always feel like I'm just kind of a kid again playing in paint. I really want to try this with mica powders next. But for right now, I'm gonna concentrate on mixing my secondary colors here. Let me tell you, this orange is turning out beautiful. I'm kind of thinking to myself, maybe I can get like a peachy color if I do this red and this yellow, but I do more yellow than red. I think that might be a good one to do, but I really want to make green before I try to use up yellow. So this could take anywhere, depending on how thick your pigment is, this could take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour or let, you know, give or take. Never tried watercolor. I have to finish my acrylic paints to try and go back to the basics. Made the, yeah. I think that this is an activity that I think the world needs to try. To kind of calm down. This is a very, to me, this is very satisfying, and it also just kind of calms you down a little bit. It's like one of those oddly satisfying videos that you just watch just because you're bored. That's what this activity does for me. Do you know what would be funny if every artist had to do this? You know, had to learn how to make their own paint. Like if they went to school to be an artist, and they like part of their part of their curriculum, could you say, would be making your own paint and art supplies. But then again, you know, just like I don't know, like computer science or something. There's things for everybody. You know, either you love it or you hate it. Now, I will tell you this. I think that these powders in these kits, because I've done my homework a lot, and like I said, everything that I've read has said that you need to mull your paints for at least 30 minutes to an hour, if not more. Um, and I've seen people do it for 30 straight minutes. But honestly, with this kit, I think they simplified it. I don't know what they did, if they gave you like really, 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 really ground up pigments, if they ground the pigments even more to make the activity easier, or what. But I find that I have not had to mull my pigments that long. How do you keep them wet? Add water again and again. Yes. So I was wondering that too. Like I was wondering how people use. First of all, there are many different watercolor paints. You have dried cakes that are typically in like children's kits, and you just add water, and you know the paint is there. Then there's pans, which are kind of, they could be beginner or they could be uh, they could be beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And that's what a lot of artists choose, is the kits that are the pans that, you know, you get the little metal pan with the little squares in them. And then you have tubed paints, and those are typically the ones summer yellow plus red kiss. I'm just making a spot for me to swatch this and make sure that it is where I want it. Anyway, and then you get tubes, and I always wondered how you can use the tubes without wasting your, you know, watercolors. Because you squirt out too much, what do you do with it? So it turns out that you can actually take the tubes in one of these airtight palettes, squeeze it out, and you let it dry, and it becomes a cake. And then you can re-wet them and use every bit of the paint without wasting them. So my idea was to make the paint, put it here, let it dry, and then we'll test the re-wet ability of this paint. Now, in the kit, in the videos where I've watched people make these, they are typically what do you call it? They typically say that you have to let the paint dry for up to, I think they said a week. Let's see. Okay. All right, so I have a brush. I'm just gonna get some of this pigment and I'm going to test it. Now what I'm looking for is if there's any grains or what looks like, I guess, orange bits that looks like sand. And I'm also testing to see if the color moves with wet on wet technique. So I just get a little bit of the paint that I just made and I'll put it on here. I don't think I have the patience for that. Waiting 1 week, I'm the kind of person who wants to use them right away, LOL. Well, I mean, you can use them right away. So there's my first swatch, by the way. See if you guys can see it or if I need to get closer. And as you can see, it's a nice smooth consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the mulling plate and put it in my palette. You can use them right away. You can use them as a wet paint. And they will move just like normal watercolors, as you just saw me test it. But in order to keep them, you do have to let them dry. Or else, see, the thing is what a lot of people don't tell you is if you don't let that Arabic gum stuff dry, it could go moldy. And we don't want that to happen. So if you let it dry to a hard piece, then it won't go moldy. So I scraped the excess off my molar, or all that I could. And I apologize in advance. I'm still trying to get the hang of this without making that really like fingernails on chalkboard sound. So if that happens during this live, I apologize in advance. I'm really happy with this color. I mean, that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted that burnt orange color. I would love to be able, oof, I got messy with that one. Good Lord. I would love to be able to make a portrait color, like a portrait pink, but I just don't know how with these bright colors. I feel like it needs to be on the lighter side. Hi, Flashy, how are you? Well, right now I'm getting a full pan right now, but let me tell you, a lot of the times what people will do is they will mull their paint and they will make a lot of paint. You know, they'll make a lot of it on that one time, and they will actually get a jar with a screw top on it, and they will keep it wet in a completely sealed dustless container, and they will fill a portion of their pan, and then they will let that dry. And of course, watercolor, when it dries, it shrinks. So when that shrinks, they'll add a little more, and they let it dry in what we call, they let it dry in layers. So that is how they do that. Do you know if pigments can be mixed with pouring medium or acrylic binder? Thanks for your answers. Yes, I have mixed many acrylics with my pouring medium, and I also have mixed my pigments in resin. Pigment is naturally in paint. And so if you have a binder like pouring medium tends to be, then you can make your own custom colors altogether. What I've done in the past is I've mixed my my paint colors for my pours, and I have sprinkled a little bit of pigment into it to change the color a little bit, and it has worked out just fine for me. And it also adds a little bit of another dimension to your pour, which is kind of really fun. I don't know, my art geek came out right there. But I really do think it's a ton of fun to mix and make your own colors, because then, you know, your stuff is completely different than everybody else's. Guys, get a load of this orange color that I just mixed. I'm so happy with it. Yay. Oh, thank you. In fact, guys, speaking of the Charmeleon swipe, look at this. These are the tiles that I did on my last one, varnished. And that's a Charmeleon swipe. Charmeleon. See? Ah. So these are now varnished, but I could, thank you. I could actually go in now and add resin, or I could just use those as in an art piece. Really whatever I want, but I wanted to test out a new varnish that I had bought. So normally, you guys, I would be taking my stuff to the sink to wash it, but my sink is all the way in another room. And I have my little water sprayer here, so I'm just giving it a good wipe down. And I figured this part is not as important not to contaminate the colors as the original mixing of the colors that came in the kit, because the whole point of us doing this right now is to make our own colors. So if my colors get a little mixed, I'm not too scared of it. It's so good to see you all, especially, you know, when times are crazy and everything. I always feel like art is a good thing to fall back on and make you feel good. If this is my feel-good activity. Whenever I get bummed out by news and media and things like that, if I do something arty, I feel so much better afterward. I'm a beginner and I'm just learning yet and discovered you just now. Oh, hi, Flashy. Thank you. Well, welcome to the Chromie family. It is really, really nice to welcome you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to message me anytime, or you can like my Chroma Storm Arts Facebook page, and you can always PM me privately through there, and you will get an answer. I mean, I don't mind. I'm never that person that, for me, I don't think art needs to be a secret. There's nothing proprietary that I do. I learn from people, and I expect people to learn from me. So welcome, 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 and I hope you stay for a long time. Oh, thank you. Hey, listen, you guys are on my artful journey with me. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and like I said, I bought this kit to see if I enjoyed it. And of course, I did do a lot of research. But as it is, with the research that I did, I feel like you have to do it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make my green. So I pulled out the sky blue. I'm thinking the sky blue, the yellow, and I think I want a rich green, so I might also add a touch of that indigo into it. And also, if you see me wiping off my palette, that's because this me and my little oopsie is gonna bug me, and I don't want that orange to get in any green that I make. So this is not a big deal. It's still wet. I can just take my little paper towel and wipe it out. I feel like Julia Child. Whoa, you dropped it on the floor. You're the only person in the kitchen. You know? I'm so glad you guys came to hang out with me today. This is so fun. I love it when people come and hang out with me and do this kind of stuff. Like I said, if you guys are coming late to the party, I am using a kit to make my own watercolors, and I bought it from Tuesday morning, but I did look at the website before I started this live, and I saw that they are actually on sale for 50% off. That means they retail for $60, but I'm sorry if you see my head. They retail for $60, but right now on the website itself, they are on sale for $30. So if you guys want to go do this activity, see if you guys enjoy it, you know, just wanted to let you all know that. Now, if I were you, I would go ahead and go look and make sure that my information is correct if you are interested in buying this kit. Either way, I mean, as much paint as I'm getting out of this kit, though, I think it's well worth the $60, to be quite frank. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my green now. So I've got this sky blue here, and I do want more of a blue green. I think I will go ahead and add a little bit of this indigo here, just to deepen it. Just a little dot, just a little dab will do ya. And some yellow. There we go. So now, when I say indigo, I'm going to show you what I mean. Excuse me. So these were the original colors. We had the golden sky, which is this orange. We had summer yellow. We had red kiss. We had indigo earth. We have I missed one. Oh, sea kiss. That's this one. And then lavender sky. So these are the colors that were already in the kit, which are beautiful. But I can't really get the look of that indigo very well. But then I just mixed, you see, I just mixed this orange with this red, and I got this burnt orange color, which I'm very happy with. So now I'm going to mix the Sea Kiss, which is this light blue, a little dab of the indigo, and summer yellow. I'm going to mix all those, and I'm going to make a green. So again, my mix, it's a little hard to open with gloves on. Alright, my mix is going to be about the size of the cap. So I'm going to pour it out here. There we go. Keep it from running off the edge. And now I'm just going to start slowly mixing that pigment in. It's very, very fun to do this. I think this is one of my favorite parts of it, is just like getting that pigment to mix in and make a paste. So everybody will tell you your main objective is to make like a toothpaste consistency. Man, I hope this turns out to be a really pretty green. So I'm calling these secondary colors. If you know the color wheel, you know that burnt orange is not a second, well, I mean, it kind of is a secondary color, but basically I'm not going by the color wheel. I'm going by what colors I want in my palette. So I love burnt orange. I love that color. I think it's beautiful. I really think it's beautiful next to like a good aqua or teal color. I think it's like just beautiful to paint paintings with that color combination in there. But blah blah blah. I lost my train of thought. But I'm not really going by the color wheel. I'm not using a lot of color theory. I'm just going with what colors I think are going to look good together. Well, yeah, there's that yellow. So pretty. So this is more of a like a teal green color. I think next time I'll go more yellow than blue. This time I went more blue than yellow. Oh, yes. So, Flashy, tell me where you're from and what you do. Are you in the States? Are you out in the world? Are you in a different country? Um, I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I have a studio out of Rockmart. Now, the studio is not open quite yet. I can't wait to get it open. But you know, current events put things on hold. I'm not mad about it though. I do want everyone to stay safe. So I will put things on hold. I mean, it's not like it's killing me to wait to open. I think an olive green, forest green would be beautiful if that fits into what you're making your palette to look like. Yes, olive green. I love olive green. This one's more of a teal. It's kind of coming out tealy, but I would have to use a lot of yellow, maybe a little bit of orange to make that olive color. So maybe that would be pretty. Okay, now. Call me a geek or whatever, but I feel like I'm in the company of some very, very old artists right now. Like, you know, like I said, they had to make their own paint. Like, I feel like I'm making my own paint like Rembrandt. That's horrible. I'm not Rembrandt, you guys. Oh, yeah. Now, this is going to take some mulling because I can still see chunks of that yellow pigment in here. And even with the pigments mixed very well with my palette knife, you can kind of see the color changing. Let's see if I can get it up here so you can see. So you can see the darker color here, that's what you see, but then there's a lighter color in the middle. That's the pigments binding together and changing. Let's see if I can get it to... Do you see the middle is lighter and then the outside is darker? That's the pigments binding together in that oil so that it can make the actual color that we're making here. So this one's actually going to be cool to mold, because when I get a nice consistent color is when I'm done molding. The other ones are kind of hard to mold. You have to crush flowers. I already pressed the flowers. Goodness gracious. I press flowers and I use them as elements in ephemera in my mixed media work. I really want a mortar and pestle to do that kind of stuff though, Dorothy. I mean, to tell you the truth. And then I really would be like Rembrandt. Oh. Oh yeah. Alright, let's see if I can get this up here so you guys can see. I'm going to pick up the plate, which is probably not a great idea, but we'll see. So you can see here where that teal that I mixed is, and you can see here where it's a lot lighter, and that's that yellow coming through and all the pigments being bound together while we're doing this mulling process. So this one's actually a really fun one, because then I get to show you guys what I see, because you guys can physically see it now. Thank you, Dorothy. I love pressed flowers though. My mother-in-law, she has one of the prettiest gardens in North Georgia, I swear. And she lets me pretty much, I could take a bag to her house, like a shopping bag or something, and she lets me just pick whatever I want and go home and use it or press it, and then the next year after I've pressed it, I can use it in my art. And it's real flowers, and I just find that interesting that, you know, God's artwork is now a part of my artwork. So in order to get a nice even mix, you do have to scrape your molar, and you have to scrape your paint back to the middle of your glass mulling plate here. So I like to scrape it all back to the middle and do it again. This is part of the reason, like, a lot of people will put the rubber things underneath their glass mulling plate to keep it from moving, but I like to be able to spin one. Even, like, especially this little one. Like, if it were a big one and I could actually, like, maneuver my hand around it better, then I would do that, but I only have this little one. So when I get done with this green color that I'm making, I'm going to wipe down the plate because I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I'm going to wipe down the plate, and we're going to test the rewettability of the colors that I've already mixed at home. I think I'm going to need to scrape to the middle one more time to get a nice even consistency in the mix. But I think I need to go ahead because I'm losing paint over the sides of my plate here. over there. Okay. Move that. Turn it around. Okay. There we go. But I tell you what, this is a pretty color. It's more sagey than I thought it was going to be. So, scrape off my Muller. I'm going to go ahead and scrape all this to the middle of the plate. Oh, there went the scratchers. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Ugh, trying not to do that. Oh, duck blue. Now, why do you call it duck blue? I think this is gonna be it. Let's see if I'm gonna test I'm gonna test it on my paper here before I mull it again. Oh, it's like they're feathers. I like it. Okay, that's scraped. Let me get out my tester page here and my flat brush. I'm gonna get me a little bit of this paint on my brush. Ooh, I didn't write it down. Let's see. This was 1 part indigo earth, plus 1 part summer yellow plus half, no, indigo earth was a half part, and sea kiss was a 1 part. There. So this one is 1 part sea kiss, 1 part summer yellow, and a half part indigo. So I'm going to get some of the color on here, add a little water too, so I can get some movement of the color. I'm holding the page up because I don't want to get paint all over. I don't want to get paint all over my page here, you know, because I don't know, I'm like slightly obsessed with swatches right now. And I like swatches. And I'm thinking I might use swatches in my mixed media work. Ooh, yeah. Now, one of the next tests that I wanted to show you that I forgot to show you, I should have showed you, was when the color dries, take a dry paper towel and a clean dry paper towel and rub it on the color. If the color does not come off on the paper towel, that has enough binder in it. If the color comes off on the paper towel, then it does not have enough binder in it. So that is one of the reasons why we swatch while we're actually making the colors. But honestly, I really like this green color. Yeah, it does. I'm gonna move you guys over so I can put this in the light a little better. There you go. See that pretty green color? Yay! Put you guys back where I had you. There we go. So I'm gonna let this one dry, and while that's drying, I'm gonna pan this one up, and we can call that done. I'm almost 100% sure that that is got enough binder in there, because I do like my watercolors to be on the runnier side while I'm making them. I have found out, I tried it with the orange, not putting a whole lot of binder in there, because I really wanted that orange to be pigmented, and really, you need the binder. So I was like, well, fine. I guess I'll put a lot of binder in there. Ooh, this well is getting full. I think I can get one more thing without it overflowing, and then I'll be done. Nope, it's gonna overflow. There it goes. Oh well. I'll have extra green on the palette down there. Note to self, don't overflow the palette wells. Because I'm just gonna let it dry like that. I'll just have extra paint right there because I don't want to waste it. Alright, now let's see. Let's clean this off. Clean all these off, and we will do the re-wettability test. Thank you. I'll see you later, Tammy. Thank you for stopping in. Love you. All right. So let me, like I said, normally I don't use this many paper towels while I'm doing all this. I normally take it to the sink and wash in between, but to be quite frank, I can't really do that while I'm doing a live with you all. So the spray bottle and paper towels has got to work for the moment. But I mean, honestly, I know that it seems crazy. It seems crazy to want to do this. Like why even bother when you could, you know, go out to the store and buy pre-mixed? But honestly, I just find like a sense of I did something cool when I make my own things. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm not really trying to get these 100% clean. I just need to get them clean enough to move on to the next activity. I'm going to do this. Go ahead and wet that up. I'm really happy with that green it made. Yay! So let's check the re-wettability on these colors I made yesterday. Now, like I said, I didn't alter or change the colors that came in the kit. I just made them as they were. So we're going to test what I call the re-wettability. So what I did was I made these colors yesterday. So, like I said, they take about a week to fully dry through, you know? And, they, they take about a week to dry fully through and through. So, that, you know, I don't have the patience. I'm so excited with this. I wanted to make a live video with you all. But the tops of them are pretty dry enough for me to touch a wet brush to them and see how workable they are. You know, how I can come back later and re-wet them and swatch them when they're dry. So that's what we're going to test out right now when I get done washing off my little piece of glass here. Well, at least getting a lot of the stuff off of it. Okay, well that's gonna have to do. So there's that. Let me put the Muller over here with it. Close up my oil so I don't accidentally spill it. Put the pigments out of the way. All right. Now that I'm done messing around with oils and pigments and whatnot, I can take these gloves off. Hi everybody, with my nasty nails I need to get painted. So I have my swatch here from what I just made. I have my swatch here from what I just made. And I have my paints here. So what I'm going to do is, right next to the name of it, I'm just going to make a quick swatch and show you all what the wettability is of this paint. I'm so excited. I hope it works out. Now, I'm not using like a legit watercolor brush simply because I'm using what I had on like right next to me. Holy smokes. Look at that. It's beautiful. Okay. I can't wait to show you all up close. So I'm literally just wetting the pad that I made yesterday on the top. And I'm just swatching it out. Oh, such beautiful, vibrant colors. So, this kit that we bought for 30 bucks, so far I have just handmade two custom colors. But yesterday I handmade 6 colors that came with the kit. And I feel like it's worth it because for 30 bucks, I've gotten palettes with 12 colors in it. So I think that because I can mix my own, the possibilities are endless, honestly. But I've literally made 8 colors so far, and I'm just now, I think, about halfway through a good portion of those pigments. I'm like halfway through the bottle. So I feel like they're, it's worth the, at least I feel like it's going to be worth the cost, because you can make, well, let's see. I'm going to stand them up and look at them. So the one that I've used the most of, it looks like, is the indigo blue, because I really like that dark blue color. And they are all halfway full still. And I've made 8 colors. So in theory, I can make 16 colors with this one kit alone. And that's if I go a little easy on the mixes. I could actually make more, because I can have my ratios changed and I can make less paint at a time. So I just tested the what I call the re-wet ability to these colors, and look how vibrant they are. And I made them yesterday, and that I left the palette open so that they could dry. So yes, I say this is a good value. You could have fun making your paints, and you can use them too. So I'd say that this kit, I'm actually gonna put it back together so you guys can see what it looks like when you buy it. Even though my glass needs washing and my molar needs washing, again, I will show you all what it looks like. Maybe I won't. Where's the plastic? Well, I can't find the plastic that came with the box, you guys, so anyway, it comes with the set. They're like this. I really don't know where I put it. Did I put it in there? No. So just imagine that the pigments are laying nicely in the box. So the kit comes looking like this, and I think it's 100% worth it. I really do. I think that if you're into creating different things for your art, if you're into maybe mixing your own colors, especially for making your own custom paintings, I think this kit is definitely for you. So I want to take the dry portion of this paper towel here. Nothing came off on my towel, so I know I have enough binder in there. So that paint is not going to go anywhere unless I re-wet it. So again, I'm really, really happy with this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys kind of got an understanding as to how to make watercolor. If you're interested in making watercolor, please look it up. It's very fascinating. I want to leave this. Hi, Vanessa. I'm actually winding up, but I just made a couple of custom colors in my watercolor, and I'm actually going to go really fast and grab the two paintings that my mother and I did on live the other day. I've been meaning to show you all how that worked out, and I'm also going to grab the painting that I varnished with that varnish that we tested out that is marketed specifically for pouring, and the talc powder that was marketed specifically for pouring. So I'm going to go grab that, and I will show you all how those ended up. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to show you this one. This one we varnished on our last live, and we embellished with a little bit of iridescence in the cream color. I don't know if you guys can tell that is going on in this painting. So let's see. So I'm going to give 100% thumbs up on the products that they have made. This product called Color Pour. I'm going to give 100% thumbs up on these products. Again, I would never use pre-mixed pouring paint, but I would love to use their accessory products because they actually work. And if they work, then I'm down for buying it, you know? So there is that, nice and varnished, nice and dried. I might do another layer of varnish just to get it a high gloss. I prefer high gloss varnishes on my pours. But there's that one. So this was something that my mother and I played with on a live a couple weeks ago. And I just wanted to come in and show you all how it all turned out. My mother used a pour and then a comb through technique because she just wanted to embellish and see. And then she took and crumpled up a little bit of foil and blew it in the middle because she felt like that's where it would be more beneficial. So it dried beautifully. I love it so much. She's gonna love having it hang in her house. And there is that one. She does have some good cell action going on in this down right corner here. She's got a little bit of cell action there, but she enjoyed doing the comb through technique and get this paisley look. And I think she said she wanted it to be that way. Love it. I love the colors in this one. It looks like the ocean. Okay. So I have that one. Now I do want to show you guys something here. Now I love to embellish my pours, but I think I'm going to try embellishing with the foil a different way. I think after the paint dries would be a better time to embellish with this foil, because if you will see where it got wet by the paint, it did tarnish a bit. Now, if I were going for a more steampunk look, yeah, that would be cool. That would be all right. But I wasn't. I wanted something super shiny and pretty, and I wanted it to flow through the middle of the painting. I mean, it still kind of looks cool. And I might take a foil pin, such as, I have one here in the box, such as this. And I might go through and color in the foil pieces just to save this one particular piece. But if you don't want to go through all that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a painting. I'm going to let it dry, do the talc powder, wipe it off with a damp cloth like the packaging suggests. And then before varnishing, I would use a glue and glue the foil pieces on. So those are how our paintings ended up. Again, the varnish, like on these chameleon pours, it turned out beautiful. Again, this could be like a little grand prize if you're having an opening. You could give away a free tile for someone to have, or you can make a coaster set. I just love doing this with leftover paint from pours so you don't waste your paint, but you also have a little something to play with in the long run. So that's cool. I love the fact that the varnish came out and was very, very shiny, very high gloss. I might put another coat on there, or I even might run a little varnish on it, or resin on it to seal it and make it to where you can sit a Coke or cup or something on there without damaging the artwork. Anyway, I've been on for a very long time. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I hope you all are staying safe out there. I hope everybody is taking care of themselves and their family. I do want to say something to end this day, and a little food for thought. Dinner time in Europe. Yum, yum. See you soon. Bye, Dorothy. Bye-bye. I want to leave you with this piece of information. Well, not information, but this piece of advice from me to you. Treat people as you want to be treated. Everyone, in my opinion, is the same. Color has nothing to do with who you are, what you are, and how you act. To me, everybody is red on the inside. So, you all have hearts, you all have lungs, you all have a spine. So, if you have a spine, please stand up for what you believe in, and that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I don't treat people any better, less, or anything other than equal to me. I am no better or no worse than anyone else, and you are not either. So to just say put a little spin on that, I just wanted to let everyone know. Go out and treat someone with respect today. Make them happy. Give them a compliment. Make them feel better about themselves. The world needs this in our lives right now, especially America. So if you could go on your favorite YouTuber's channel, go on a new YouTuber's channel and give them a compliment. Make them feel better about themselves. Because in the long run, the more polite and the more nice you are, the better the world is going to be. So with that parting bit of inspiration and or advice, I want to say it was fun hanging out with you all today. It made me feel good about myself to interact and talk to people in different countries and who have interest in the same things that I do in art. And I just love being around everybody and you all. So with that, I hope you guys were all inspired, and I hope you had a good time, and I hope you try something new. Anyway, bye bye, y'all.